back on Good Morning Football. Big show as always. Will Selva on the West Coast with some news. Why don't we start in your, start with either Aaron Rodgers, or do you want to start with your guys Trey Lance up there, Jimmy Garoppolo? Where do you want to start today?
I want to start with Presley Harvin III. That's where I'm going to start my update this morning. Presley Harvin III playing paintball, actually, is what my first story is going to be. No. Everything just melding together this morning. But good morning to the four of you. Yes, we've talked about it ad nauseum, Kay, on this program. Aaron Rodgers, obviously not happy about the Jordan Love pick, and the bad blood has continued to boil into this season. Meanwhile, in San Francisco, Jimmy Garoppolo seeing the 49ers draft his eventual successor, Trey Lance, as you mentioned, going third overall just 6 days ago, leaving Jimmy G in a tough situation. Head coach Kyle Shanahan, though, saying Garoppolo is the starter, for now. Garoppolo, while appearing on a pair of radio interviews Wednesday, taking it all in stride.
I know it's going to be some competition between us, like it was with me and Tom when I got drafted to New England. But, at the end of the day, all you could ask for is the opportunity. And so once they said you'll have the opportunity to start this year and, fight it out, I was all for it. I'm ready for the competition, and that's what we're here for.
I try to use my own personal experiences and just what I went through, what helped me, what challenged me as a young player. And so, I'm going to try to use those tools that help me and, try to help Trey out. It's hard to come into this league. I know how it was coming from FCS school to the NFL. It's a bit of an adjustment, the speed, whatever you want to call it. It's just different. So whatever I can do to help him, I'll be more than happy.
Jimmy G handling it like a true pro. Meanwhile, where he plays in Santa Clara, the 49ers celebrating the milestone of 68,500 people being fully vaccinated at Levi's Stadium, enough to fill the stadium to capacity. To date, Levi's Stadium has vaccinated nearly 10% of all Santa Clara County residents who have been vaccinated in the county. Now, Commissioner Roger Goodell has said the goal for next season is to have stadiums at capacity. So hopefully we will see Levi Stadium up to capacity, 68,500 screaming fans, seeing Brandon Ayuk hurdle, I should say, over people like he did the Philadelphia Defenders, and just like an Olympian doing his thing. So the 49ers, kudos to them as they get people vaccinated there in Santa Clara at Levi's Stadium.
Picked off by Baker at the 5, running left to the 10 to the 20. Nobody's going to catch him unless Metcalf can. He is sprinting. He is running. The chase is on. 30, 40, 50. Metcalf might catch him at the 30, at the 20. Baker trying to outrun him. He dives and he catches him. DK Metcalf catches Buda Baker. Metcalf finally gets to him inside the 10, near the 5-yard line. DK Metcalf, oh my goodness. He's too fast! He's too fast! How'd he catch my...
Track star speed. DK Metcalf, that was last year, week 7. I'll never forget it. It was against the Cardinals. And guess what, everybody? He'll be participating in the USA Track and Field Golden Games this Sunday, where he could qualify for the Olympic Games come June. So let's just throw on NFL players that we'd love to see in the Olympics taking in all the action tricks. This is crazy.
This is an amazing feat, and we've seen some other NFL players go for the Olympics before, but to see DK try to do it is so neat because we watched him make that play and before our very eyes. I'm going to go to a name, Chuck Clark from the Ravens. I don't know if you guys know who Chuck Clark is. Very talented safety on the team. And it just gives me an excuse to talk about someone jumping over Phillip Rivers again. It was my favorite highlight of the year.
Here we go.
Let's see it again. Chuck Clark doing the hurdles. This, to me, is what the Olympic athlete is. Here's Chuck Clark. It's going. Now watch Phillip Rivers, who we love and is now coaching high school football. But watch the hurdle here. That right there is a hurdle for the ages, and I think that hurdle it reminds me of Skeets Nehemiah. It reminds me of Carl Lewis. It reminds me of Jackie Joyner-Kersee. So I'm going to say to FloJo and the rest, that is my new entry. I am going with Chuck Clark for the hurdles. Hope Phillip Rivers isn't.
Phillip's just like,
Poor Phillip.
We're talking FloJo on the show. It's usually we're talking Sir Mix a lot.
Exactly.
But I like that we got another way. Great.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Shout out to my former teammate, Javid Best, who was a running back for the Detroit Lions, who ran in the Olympics. I think he was in the semifinals up against Usain Bolt when Usain Bolt was still doing his thing.
Wow.
One of the fastest dudes I've ever played with, for sure. But speaking of that, I like pure speed. So if I'm going to send somebody to the Olympics, I want to see the Chiefs wide receivers do the 4x1. Nice. One of my favorite races, handing off that baton. It's always difficult with that exchange. Stick. All right, Tyreek Hill, of course, that 4.29 just jumps out. And McCole Hardman, he said he can actually run in the 4.2s. And then you have Pringle and DeMarcus. I mean, this would be a group that could beat any wide receiver group in the NFL. And that's what I thought initially, though. When I saw DK Metcalf drop the cleats, and I'm looking at the track, I'm like, is he going to race Tyreek Hill? Is he going to race Henry Ruggs? Is he going to race some of these fast times that we saw at these pro days this year? I would love to do that. Can we get the world's fastest man, NFL's fastest man back? But all in all, I would love to see the 4x1 for the Chiefs because they claim to be the fastest group of wide receivers. But I feel like there's guys out there, and not just wide receivers. There's teams that have wide receivers and DBs that might give the Chiefs a run for their money.
Tyreek would run anchor.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
He's just let me be close. Just make it close when I get the stick, and I'll do the rest. Don't give me a 20-meter deficit. If it's 15, I can make up for it. When I think about the Olympics, and I like the weirdness of it, I've always thought one of the strangest Olympic events by far is part of the Winter Olympics, and it's something called biathlon, whereby it's cross-country skiing, which is the most boring thing by nature, but then they're strapped. They stop, take their skis off, and shoot, and then continue to ski. I don't know who made up this event, but it's the idea that you're incredibly tired and then you have to shoot. Aaron Rodgers, I want to see you do biathlon. I'll tell you why. You're great in the cold, you have great endurance, you're very accurate. You could start maybe picking up some other hobbies right now in your life. And also, if you don't think world-class athletes love biathlon, take one guess what NBA legend does biathlon in his free time. Take a guess. Bring up the picture. Scottie Pippen is a big biathlon guy.
Really?
This is not Photoshopped. This is not a joke. Check this out. Scottie Pippen is a biathlon guy. He loves the sport.
He watches it or does it?
He's participated in it.
What?
Central Arkansas.
It's like Brad Daugherty doing NASCAR.
It is, Peter. I can't explain it. But no Tippin Pippen loves biathlon. And if Scottie can do it, Rodgers can do it. Maybe you go pro and then go tell the Packers to go scratch. There he is. Your next great biathlete, Aaron Rodgers.
Who knew?
Wow.
Who knew? I always like the floor exercises. I'm going to go with Naeem Hines.
Good
I
choice.
think he would be great in that. Ali Raceman would be proud of what he did. Of course, week 8, Phillip Rivers, we're going right back to you. But this time, it's
Good
a
Phillip.
good thing. Good Phillip. He caught this pass from Phillip, spun into the end zone, as we can see. Look how fast he is. Shifty, boom. Spins in, hits the ground with a full twist. Can you imagine what he could do on a bouncy gymnastics floor?
That's
He
unreal.
plays running back. He can line up at receiver, special teams. He also told us he builds computers in his spare time, so why not add this to his resume? Beautiful work. 10 out of 10.
Here we go.
And
Bounce, 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 and landed it perfectly.
Incredible.
Perfectly-ish.
Great.
We love it. That was a good segment.
What do you do in gymnastics when you land it? You do that, right?
New carry
Stick
stone.
it.
Yeah,
Do you like do something with your hands? And like-
Dismount.
One with the ribbon. They still
That's
do
another
rhythmic
one.
gymnastics.
Rhythmic
I like that
gymnastics.
one with the ribbon. I think they eliminated
Will